Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Mike McConville here one more time for guitar repair at String Tech. We got many a varied job coming in this week. Lots to talk about. Thanks for joining us. So this Les Paul will be next, and then after that we got a 335. 3 Gibsons this week. The next 4 sets of splines is cut out in thickness. I wanted to mention for all of you guys that have your neck surgery jigs, I like to leave the guitar in the jig because I can just flip the router sled 180 and make the other cut perfectly parallel and exactly the same length as the first cut. Okay, we are checking that spline against the template. Sometimes your finger tells you more than your eye. Just kind of rub my finger along there. Yep, I'm happy with that fit. Just getting ready to trim back that maple overlay for this Les Paul. This vertical orientation allows me to bring the headstock right up to nose level as I do the final shaping on that overlay. Well, we got 2 more neck surgeries heading for the spray booth. This one came without a headstock at all, so I built a headstock from scratch. Yeah, we're lucky in this case. We got a really good match on that mahogany, the original mahogany on the neck and the actual headstock. This would be grain filled and shaded. This guitar's got a million battle wounds. I recently posted a couple of photos of a job from years ago that I did for a fellow from Media, Pennsylvania, a broken headstock as well, Gibson. And I had put a rosewood overlay, which looked beautiful, but it ended up being painted black, and I thought, why would I waste rosewood doing that? This is quarter sawn maple. It gives us all the strength we need, and it takes that black finish even better than the rosewood. So this is what I've gone with. I go with maple. It allows you to eliminate the wood filler. You can seal it and spray the black right over top and put your decals on. We didn't get quite so lucky with the color match on the mahogany. This will be shaded really dark to try and blend that all in. See, we've done the same kind of job here. Now this nut is just, I've removed it, and it's just press fit. It's just a space saver to use while we go through the finishing process and spray that black in preparation for the Gibson logo. Well, you just looked at how mismatched the mahogany was on that Les Paul. So I thought I would show you this SG which came in. The match on this mahogany, there's a back strap in there as well. You got the 2 splines. They're virtually undetectable. We got away with just a light shading, and it's fine. I will steel wool this. It's a bit too shiny. At a glance, you'd never know that the headstock was not just broken on this one, but completely missing. There was no headstock. Okay, in this case, I'm purposely trying to expose those splines. They're still as close to undetectable as you could possibly imagine. So in this case, the shading is done. Other than steel wooling it, like I said, and just dulling it down a bit, it's a bit too shiny right now. The touch-up on this neck surgery is done. Well, this is another Gibson neck surgery that came in last week. I was quite surprised that the finish is actually opaque. You do not see wood grain through that finish. I'll bring you in on the neck as well. This is the real deal. It's a Gibson Les Paul standard. And that brown is completely opaque. There is no grain showing through that whatsoever. It's solid browns. And after seeing this, I thought, that's the route we're going to go on that other Les Paul. Just paint it a solid brown, just like this standard. This is that Les Paul you saw earlier with the mismatched mahogany. Well, after seeing that standard, I thought, this is the route we're going to go. So it's been shaded in with solid brown. It still needs to be top coated yet and rubbed out. So we're just getting ready to install the Gibson decal and the Les Paul model decal, and then that'll be clear coated and sealed. Because this had the sort of heavy Frankenstein break across the face, I ended up putting a solid maple veneer and then going with black and then putting the decal and final rub out. It will have a new nut and it will be a compensated nut. It needs a little light fret dress, and we'll soon be getting this back to the customer. The second reason I ended up going with that maple overlay is the reason this neck broke in the first place. It was sanded super thin from the factory and the grain ran out, and I just couldn't bring myself to just touch up that fiber and spray it black. I just wasn't confident enough that it would hold. It's got the 2 splines and the back strap on it and a maple overlay. This is more than twice as strong as the day it left the factory. We got our decal on. We're back to the booth to mist some clear lacquer over that. And same thing with this Gibson decal. Got that Les Paul standard face skimmed off. We're going to heat up the hide glue and glue the headstock back on and get ready for that maple overlay. Got a Les Paul custom coming this week as well. So the drills serve as indexing pins, and those holes will be swept away when we cut for the splines. Both of those holes will disappear. And you can see that there's a fracture. There's another fracture across here. The idea of putting those splines in, the splines will come right up to about here on both sides. So we'll sweep through that break, and it'll actually take care of this fracture as well. It doesn't look like we'll need to put a back strap on this one, and the sort of chips of paint that are missing on both sides, it's not going to make any difference because we're slicing right through that area anyway, and it'll be sanded down, and then the touch-up paint will basically cover everything. Just heating up our hide glue and getting ready to glue this headstock back into place. For those of you that are seeing this for the first time, those drill bits actually act as their own indexing pins. And the reason you push those into place while the glue sets is so that the wood joint doesn't slip on the bed of glue. This holds the headstock exactly where it needs to be as the glue sets. This is the reason for the indexing pins. We want to bring that up to about 145, between 145 and 155 Fahrenheit. That'll do it. Well, this has had a couple of hours to set, so we'll just pull out those indexing pins. And get ready for this coming week. It's definitely another Gibson week coming up. I'll tuck this away till Monday, and then I'll get my neck surgery kit out, and we'll get this guy on the go. And we'll slice and splice and put that maple overlay on the face. And this will get a mist of lacquer over that water slide decal, and we'll be doing a complete fret job on this one as well next week. This headstock will also get a mist of lacquer over that water slide decal, and the compensated nut, and clear coat on the back of the neck. And we'll be doing a full setup and fret dress, and this one will be going back to the customer. Definitely another Gibson week coming up. This is the neck off of that J45 that you saw earlier today in the video, and we'll be resetting this neck, complete fret job, compensated nut, compensated bridge, a new replacement bridge, the proper thickness, a cantilevered compensated saddle, complete refret, and then setting that neck angle as well. So that's all coming up. Gibson, Gibson, and more Gibson.